Well, it's official. Trevor Bauer has officially signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the World Series champs. The NL Cy Young Award winner is headed back to his home state, pretty much his hometown, LA, going back to the Dodgers, a team he grew up watching and rooting for. So this is just crazy. We have Trevor Bauer, the last big free agent, the big fish of this whole free agent class this offseason, officially signs. It was a crazy ride the last 24 hours, all the speculation, but we finally have him signing with the Dodgers on a 3-year, $102 million deal. He has opt-outs after each of the first 2 years, $40 million in 2021, $45 million in 2022. He'll be the highest paid player in MLB history in 21 and then again in 22 unless a different extension or contract comes up, obviously. So agent Rachel Luba did it for her man. She got him a good contract. 3 years is, in 3 years he'll be done. He could opt out next year or the year after, so we don't know what's going to happen. But let's dive into the last 24 hours, this Trevor Bauer madness. For starters, we had Bob Nightingale tweet out yesterday that Trevor Bauer and the hashtag Mets have a deal. You'll see the tweet over my face. And everyone was thinking, Mets, he's going to the Mets, Everyone's expecting him to announce this. As we know, Trevor Bauer likes to announce his own stuff with his own brand, momentum, or his own YouTube channel. And then it was dismissed right away. Nope, that's not true. We had this whole debacle last night, comes into today, and everyone says the Mets gave him a noon deadline for their contract offer, and I doubt that really happened. I doubt they would say, after 12, we don't want you anymore. But everyone was pretty much saying it's a lock for the Mets. And then it comes out that his merchandise on his website, there's a new section that's all for the Mets fans. It's all Mets gear, Mets shirts, Mets hat, all that stuff. And so everyone's thinking, it's the Mets. He's going to the Mets. It's official. We just got to wait for somebody to, put it out there. And it doesn't happen. We're waiting for Trevor to say something, do something. The merchandise is taken down. Is this going to be the craziest troll job ever, starting off 2021 hot? Or is this just what's happening and he's going to the Mets? And then John Heyman comes out about 25 minutes ago and hits us with a bomb. Bauer to the Dodgers. We knew it was the Dodgers and the Mets as the final two. Rachel Luba tweeted yesterday that it was down to 2, and now we know it is the Dodgers that he's going to. I told you the contract. Now let's look at how he and the Dodgers are going to be shaping up the next couple years. I think he's obviously getting a little overpaid, 40 and 45 mil. 102 mil over 3 years is around 33 to 33 and a half, 34 million a year on average. It's just super front-loaded contract, which makes me think he'll most likely opt out the last season, but you never know. If they're going hot and they win a World Series and get close again or anything like that, maybe he'll stay. Also probably depends slightly on that free agent class of his final year, if he would want to stay and become a free agent one more year later. We'll have to see. But the Dodgers are stacked. They just won a World Series. They don't have Justin Turner back yet. Kike Hernandez signed with the Boston Red Sox. Jock signed with the Cubs. So they've lost, one of their platoon pieces in the outfield. They lost a utility guy, but they still have Chris Taylor. Gavin Lux can play second now. So I think they're fine on the infield. Edwin Rios can play third if Justin Turner doesn't come back, but he still hasn't signed, so he could still come back. And they didn't lose any pitchers. And now they added Trevor Bauer, last year's NL Cy Young winner. And it was a COVID season. It was a 60-game season, don't get me wrong. But the dude did pitch amazing in the one playoff game he pitched with the Reds, and shutting down the Braves for I think 7 2/3 innings with like 10 strikeouts. He pitched phenomenal in that game. So he can pitch well in big leverage situations. He wants the ball in the spotlight. He likes that stuff, and now he'll be with the Dodgers, who are definitely going to make the playoffs. And in my opinion, we're still the World Series favorites, and now they definitely have to be the World Series favorites. After this, just looking at their starting rotation, they now have 2 starting pitchers in the MLB top 10, 3 in the top 20, 5 in the top 50. So that means their rotation is all pitchers in the top 50, with 2 to 3 of them being in the top 10 to 20. That's insane. 8 of their starting pitchers are in the top 100. And if you look at their rotation, man, looking at the names, Walker Buehler is already a bona fide ace in my opinion. He's still young. He's entering his prime, and he's a stud. Clayton Kershaw, really good veteran guy, lifetime Dodger, been a beast. been, Cy Young. He ran baseball for a while and was the guy. He was the Jacob deGrom for many years, was just dominant. Finally gets a ring. He's still a very good pitcher. I feel like people underrate him a little bit because of his age and his playoff woes a couple years ago, but he is a stud. And then you add Trevor Bauer to that, who's probably going to be their 2-3 guy with Kershaw, whatever. He might be better than Buehler this year. We don't know, but you add Bauer into that. Those three right there, that's a three-headed monster. You add David Price coming back off of COVID, and if he comes back and does anything that he's done before in the past, he's had a year off. I don't know if that'll help or hurt him, but either way, you bring David Price back as your 4 guy, you don't have a lot of expectations on him. So no matter what he does, he's not going to be a terrible 4 guy. Okay, and then you have a combination of Julio Urias, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin. Any 3 of those guys as your 5 guy. You could do a 6-man rotation with those guys. One of those guys, Urias, we saw him out of the pen. He was nasty. You can move him there. And they've already made moves to the pen, adding Tommy Canley, and they traded for Corey Nebel. They've made some big moves. Their pitching is going to be dominant this year. And then they still have, the infield and outfield that they have minus Justin Turner, Kike and Jock. Kike and Jock hurt, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to underplay their value, undersell them. But they're not going to hurt as much as Justin Turner if they don't get him back. But they have Gavin Lux to fill in. AJ Pollock's out in left. Bellinger, Betts. They have Seager. They still have Muncy. They have Will Smith and Barnes behind the plate. They're still a stacked lineup with probably the best pitching overall in the entire league, in my opinion. They got to be the best team. I can't wait to do my MLB team rankings now that I see where Trevor Bauer has gone. I'm going to wait for more of the guys to finish up, but this is just huge. As far as the Mets, that troll job, I am sorry to you guys because I had my hopes up from the beginning of the offseason that maybe the Angels would finally get us a good starting pitcher and ace, anything to help out our starting staff, who finished, I think, 28th or 29th in the league last year. And then I realized when they said it was down to 2 and it was the Dodgers and the Mets that we were officially out. I thought we were out, but that just kind of stuck the dagger in. So I can't imagine if I thought that I was the final one and then I thought my team was going to get him, and then there was even a leak that we were going to get him, and then there was a leak of his merchandise that we were going to have and all that stuff, and then flip the script, less than 24 hours later, and he's going to the Dodgers. I feel for you guys. But if you're a Dodgers fan, you got to be stoked. Even if you guys don't get JT back now, you're still, star-studded across the board. Edwin Rios can be fine at third if you got Trevor Bauer. This is just insane. Insane day. I'm so hyped. We finally know where Trevor Bauer is going. It's official. If you want to go check out the YouTube video, he posted it on his channel, Trevor Bauer. You can go check it out if you want to. This was a crazy offseason with all the Trevor Bauer antics, but we finally know where he is. He's going to be a Los Angeles Dodger for at least next year, most likely 2 or 3 years. 3 if he fulfills the whole contract. He got paid, at least his first 2 years he's going to make, in 2 years it's basically an $85 million contract, and then the next $17 million on the last year. So he's getting paid big time. Kudos to him and his agent getting it done. Dodgers are a great team. They're even better now. We'll get some more MLB content out right away. Don't you worry about that. I'll see you guys very shortly. Peace.